This is taking a dark turn. I feel like I'm loyal to the soil. At that point, my life was on like a ticking time bomb.
I mean, I was thinking more surface level. My biggest pet peeve is when So, episode 1 of The Hot Seat, I've got my favorite real estate agent here, Jesse Galvan. Him and I have worked together for a year, 18 months or so?
Going on it, yep.
Yep. Okay, so I gotta tell you a little about why I love Jesse. So, Jesse's one of those people that when you meet him, you know he just gets his stuff done. Like, you know, you could go, like, if you need a body buried, you're like the first person I'd go to. You just get it handled. You'd be like, I got your back. Mm-hmm. Just sit down, relax for a second. Here's a glass of water. And then you're spinning around in the background.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely give the Godfather vibes, like, hands down for sure.
Like it.
And I'm pretty sure, because we've had a lot of mutual clients together, I'm pretty sure a lot of your clients feel the same way, because you just handle things for them. You handle things that they don't even need, or they didn't even know that they needed. Like, you're on top of it. Mm-hmm. You're the Godfather.
Yes. No, and I think that's funny because on my way here today, my our clients that we're trying to get an offer accepted on, we're talking about this agent has to accept our offer, or like we're ready just to start ding dong ditching their house or doing something crazy just to annoy the seller, just so we can try and get our offer accepted. And I'm like, I'll go with you guys.
Oh, so. I love it. There you go. Burying the ding dong ditching body. Got it. Exactly. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
All right, so just briefly with your business, how long have you been an active real estate agent?
I've been licensed for 5 years and then active for 4 years.
Okay, and before real estate, what were you doing?
I was in the Army.
You in the Army. Mm-hmm. Why were you like, I'm in the Army and now I want to go into real estate? Where was that transition for you?
Oh, I feel like this is taking a dark turn real soon, but... a year before I got out of the Army, I got stage 1 cancer. Oh. So at that point, I feel like at that point my life was on like a ticking time bomb. Like, I feel like every day is like, when am I gonna die? And when I was in Colorado, I come from a blue collar household, and it's not to say I ever went without. But I definitely seen my parents struggle, busting their asses still till this day. And one of my driving forces is like, how could I change my family dynamic? And I just stumbled upon a real estate YouTube video. Some guy saying, make $1 million in a year, which was totally false. You can't make $1 million in a year.
Not without a lot of work.
Yeah, so he posted that saying his first year in real estate made $1 million. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to help my family, leave my family with some money. If I were to ever leave, then at least I could leave a legacy behind.
So how long after you got out of the Army were you going to different brokerages trying to figure out your real estate license, not even getting to different broker shops?
I'm weird. It's like I feel like I'm loyal to the soil, so it's like as soon as I speak with someone, I'm like, I'm sold. So I just spoke with one person, got signed up, and it was off to the races.
Really? So which one person did you speak to? Out of curiosity.
So it was a brokerage out in Corona, but it was owned by 2 separate owners.
Got it.
So it was owned by 2 separate owners, and then I went there for maybe a couple months, and then the other owner started their own startup. Okay. And then I followed him to his startup.
Got it. Yeah. So at this point in time, were you married at this point in time? No. Were you dating Miranda?
Dating, yep.
Dating, okay. All right, and so your first year in real estate, how did you do? So we know it wasn't that $1 million year, but...
I didn't close any deals my first year.
Were you doing a lot of activity?
I felt like I was, but I wasn't.
Fair enough. When did you start closing?
My second year.
Okay.
That was just from cold calling.
Okay, so you're actually a master at cold calling, like legitimately. I will go to him to be like, how would you script this? He's excellent at cold calling. And so the cold calling really started to hit and work for you, and you kind of found your own footing and voice in it.
Yeah, I think it came from like insecurities, because like I started young, I started younger than I thought was the normal age for a realtor. Yep. So inside my head, it's like, I know I could convince a random person I'm good enough, and I think just getting over that barrier of thinking that I'm good enough for everybody, you know.
Yeah, for
but
sure. No,
at
for
first,
sure you are.
It was
Yeah.
cold calls.
So now, how did being in the military, did that influence your day-to-day work structure? Did you attack it militantly?
I think that comes into play, but just like no days off. I think just having that mentality where it's like even when you're sick, you still work. Like my wife still gets mad at me till this day because it's like even when I'm sick, if I'm dragging myself out of bed, I'm still showering, getting dressed, and getting to work.
Yeah, I'm sure she yells at you at this
No.
point. Yeah,
No.
yeah. Got it. Now, at what point in time in all of this did you get married? Were you making good money at that time?
Yeah, so I got married at the height of every realtor's career. That was 2021.
Right.
And the money was just
We call
coming.
those fake years, by the way. Those are fake years.
Like money was coming, like it was crazy. Like I've never seen that type of money ever in my life, and it was just falling off of the tree. And that's the year I got married.
Okay. And when you got married, given that, you know, you were hustling, you were making good money, you have this big why behind you in terms of cancer at a younger age, living today like it's your last day. What were your goals and your aspirations to your wife when you got married? Did that become your why that drives you?
I know some people might disagree with this, but it's more like I think another family factor was when I had kids. So I love my wife. We've been together since we were 14.
Okay.
But we dated like on and off.
Right.
You know, she had we had plenty of breaks, and she dated a few people too.
So all I
but-
heard is she was there for all your bullshit.
Correct. So it was all me. It was all my fault. But
She's rainbows and butterflies. I adore her.
she's always been my number one fan. But
Yeah.
I think the extra layer was when I had my daughter.
Why? Why did that change?
It's just one of those things, like before I even had kids, when people would talk about their kids, I would just feel like I'd be like, this is weird, I can't relate.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you only know when you know.
Right.
And
That's true.
you have to go through it, and it's like I look at my little girls and like having the worst day, and they'll bring out like the joy in me. Which my wife can too, but it's my daughters.
Yeah, okay.
It's my
So
daughters
let
that
me
really
let
like-
me help you wordsmith this.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
hold
yes.
please. Your wife is your universe.
Yes.
We're your children collectively. That is your world together.
Correct.
So
Correct.
there.
Yes.
I got you, Miranda. It's okay.
For sure. Hopefully it's not taken out of context here.
Okay, so we have a lot of things going on here. So I hear that you grew up in a blue collar household. You saw, on a child's perspective, your parents always working. At this point, you know, you get into the military, you want to better yourself. So you see this YouTube video where this agent is making $1 million a year. You know, I hope he's still in the industry now. You have a cancer scare. So now you're working like today is your last. You get married to someone that you've been with that knows you from the ground up, that grew up with you.
Correct.
And now you have a child together.
Two.
Well, I know now too, but I'm not there yet. Hold on, jeez. So with your first daughter, what did that do to your mentality shift? Did you hustle harder? Did the grind set in stone? Did you take it more seriously?
Yeah, I feel like there's like two parts to that. I
Yep.
feel like as a father, yes. Even her, she had a health scare, and right when she was born, maybe 3 months, we found like a lump on her, and then we were able to get it addressed, and it came to be like a blood a vein tumor. Like it went away.
Okay,
like it
well,
was
that's good.
Fortunately nothing.
But it still scares you.
Yes.
Yeah,
So like,
perspective, powerful thing.
for that perspective, just like that dad, like being in dad mode, like you driving to work, like not knowing that your daughter's okay because their appointment's not for another week or two, like not knowing what you would do if anything were to like, you just feel powerless, but also like I said, you have to experience it.
Yeah.
Like you have to know that feeling, and when you know that feeling, you know that feeling. So that responsibility and just the love, care that comes with that. But also, when I first had my baby, that's when the real estate market started like doing a pivot.
Yes, it pivoted pretty quickly.
Yeah. So like just the stress of trying to make sure the bills are paid still, while being a new dad, while being a new husband. Like,
And this is just one baby right now.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so so a lot of people, sometimes including myself, but I've learned to put a timer on it. So when stress gets too high, it's a bell-shaped curve. Like if you have too little stress, then you're not productive. If you have too much stress, then you just want to lay down. You're not productive. Like the optimal stress level is at the top of the bell-shaped curve, and that's where you get the most done. Mm-hmm. So when market started going down, when you take it upon yourself, you're one of those people that are, and my husband's the same way. He is head of household. Like, it's, Lara, you're adorable. Sit down. This is my job, not your type of thing. So with you being that personality, when the market started going down, were you wanting to attack it harder, or were you having a lot of those days where you're just getting tired and you're feeling beat up a lot?
Both. And then too, like, I think the communication with your spouse is important.
Yep.
Because remember, my wife was with me back when I was driving a 95 Civic broken, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, she grew up with you,
yeah,
right?
like she grew up with me when I had nothing.
Right.
But then again, we got married at the height of the career,
right,
where it was like, hey, baby, stay home.
Right.
We got the baby, chill.
So promises were implied or made that she
correct,
could have a different life.
Correct. And then when the market shifted, she had to go back to work.
And so did that strain your marriage, or did it strain you because you implied, you wanted a different life for her?
Both. I think that when I talk to everyone that gets married, especially like my clients, like the ones that are newly getting married, I just tell them, like, you could be with your spouse or partner for 15 years, but for some reason that marriage, as soon as you get the ring, and then like there's expectations or non-expectations.
Oh, it shifts. It's a weird thing.
Like the first year is definitely like a dynamic shift.
Yeah.
So I think just communication, and I think that's where a lot of us fall short.
So I was with my husband for 7 years. We had bought a house together. We had a child together, and we decided to get married. We eloped. It was something that we had planned to do-ish, and he'll swear by this, but he really did say, we should drive to Vegas. It'll save us money on our taxes this year.
That's right.
So even though it was at the Little White Wedding Chapel at 4:30 in the morning, and it was just him and I, whatever transpired in between us during those minutes of vows, there was actual bonds forged, and there was an unspoken contract between us.
For sure.
It's a really interesting thing. So I get that.
And I think that's where you really find out who you really are. I think going through tougher times is always going to make you stronger.
It does. Okay. It does. I hate that saying, though. What's that saying? Whatever doesn't break you makes you stronger. I hate that saying, by the way. I mean, it's true, but it's annoyingly true. Yeah. So we're going through all of this. You're beating yourself up. The market is what it is. And at this point, it's just spiraling down. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. So what are some of the things that you did to start attacking your business? What was your turning point? What was the aha moments that you started seeing before we even get into, next daughter, before we get into what the future looks like?
Yeah, I think just recognizing that, recognizing where you're wrong. As in, I'm a business owner. Being a realtor isn't just a realtor. You're a business owner. So many people don't treat it like that. So when you start treating it like that, then you start making business owner money.
So what does that mean? I'm a business owner. What does it mean? So if you don't just do real estate, you actually run a business. Now tell me about your day. Tell me about your outlook.
Rick Ruby, capitalism. But no, I just think
shout out to the core for sure.
Shout out to the core, Rick Ruby. But I think just tracking your expenses, tracking your day, like looking at your activity, and that's something that you've helped me a lot with, is just knowing what is real work versus busy work. And are you profitable? And if you're not profitable, then you're doing something wrong.
Then you do. It is a really interesting mental shift though, when you actually, it's not even being accountable to somebody, it's you physically looking at yourself and being accountable to yourself. And there's so many face palm moments in that of like, oh shit, I could have done this better. Oh shit, what was I thinking today? I just failed. So as soon as you started doing that, tell me how your business shifted even in the down market. Because you're growing in a down market.
Yeah, no, I feel like it started, I think, just putting in that extra work, putting in that extra effort, and just going back to do the work and results will come. But of course, it's going to come slowly. But that's just keeping your face down, working your ass off, doing what you're supposed to do, and listen to people that are smarter than you, really.
Maybe not smarter, maybe have just walked more of the walk than you have at this point.
I don't know. I think you're way smarter than me, and I listen to you. So.
Oh, good. No pressure, Lara. No pressure.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did it start shifting? How many years ago did you have your second baby yet? Walk me through that.
So from 21, marriage, 22, first baby. We bought a home that year. The business was kind of, that's when the market started changing. I was getting a grip. Like I was, paying bills, but it was like very check to check. And then really the most pivotal point was when I made the change to the new brokerage and I got connected with you, really. So, I mean, I'd say, like you said in the beginning when we first started, the last 18 months has been when myself, or the last, year and a half, has really grown. And I'm not even where I know I'm going to be, but where I was, I know I've grown a lot.
Oh, I'll weigh into where I think you're going to be, definitely. Sure. So when you switched to new brokerage, now, some places are just not great places to be. Some places you actually still learn a lot, but it makes sense to be somewhere else. So with your first brokerage, was it you still learned, but you just ascended into something different? Walk me through that.
Yeah, I just think I just needed a change. I'm always grateful for everything that anybody does for me. So I can't take away the learning I got from those people and where I was at. But I think I need a change. And I think that like a majority of the real estate market, a lot of the people that are going to be getting out of the market are the ones that aren't accepting the fact that they need change.
So I'm always twofold on needing a change. A lot of people always look that the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is never greener on the other side. The grass might be a different type of grass. The grass might have more shit on it, so it looks greener, but you're mucking through that. So I'm very much, if you're going to be a producer, it's not about, at least 70% of the time, it's not about where you are, correct, but it's about what you personally are doing about it and how you're treating your business. So making changes, yes, is good, but sometimes is what's the changes that you got to do.
Definitely.
More so than switch, because a lot of band-aids right now are switching brokerages. A lot of band-aids are, my business will be better if I'm here and I just need to go to there and my business will be better. It's going to be the same shit.
For sure. But I put change, I like where you're going with that.
Yep.
Because I agree with that.
Yep.
Because that's how a lot of people think.
Yep.
But I just mean change, like I'm fucked up, I need help.
Got it.
Like I know there's a problem and I need to address it.
And so when you went to Nest, when you went to the new brokerage, what type of support did you get?
A bunch of support. I think the people, and I'm not doing a promo for the brokerage, but
it's a good brokerage.
No, for sure.
It is.
It's a great brokerage, and I was making a joke, but the people there, like when I'm telling you this, it feels unreal. Like where I'm at is like a space that like the owners of the company are losing sleep at night, stressing on how they're going to help the agents.
It's true. I can confirm that.
And it's not how I talk about our brokerage, Nest Real Estate. It's going to be the best brokerage. It is the best brokerage here in California, but it's going to be all across the U.S. But how I talk about it is like we're all sharks swimming in our own ocean, trying to grow to be the biggest, baddest shark that we can be, but working as a unit.
So yeah, and I could vet that where you guys have the best collaboration there. They're teaching you how to be in competition with yourself and to collaborate with others. So I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and it's just sharing, like sharing everything that someone's doing, just sharing and helping one another out. Because it's like, just because Jesse's doing this, another person's doing this, another, like, we share, use that, and then put our face on it and change it a little bit.
Find your own voice to
Correct.
it. For sure. No, I absolutely love that. So you moved to Nest in 2023. And then how did business pick up? Like, we're in a down market. October of last year was the highest rates that we've seen in quite some time. So even in the down market, you started picking up. What were you doing?
I think just the support at Nest is one. And then you and I became friends and started working together as business partners. And I think having you as a mentor, friend, and business partner really helped me too. So pretty much just listening to you, listening to the people at Nest, and doing more actionable items to generate more business.
So what does this look like now that you could see that the market is turning? Now that you've kind of figured out what it means to be a business owner, now that you're in the next step being like, okay, this needs to be delegated off, this I need to stick to. What does the future hold? What are you going to be focusing on for the next 6 months?
Yeah, the next 6 months I'm focused on growing my company. I want to open up a satellite office inside the Menifee area. I want it to be known all across Southern California as IE South, and that's like the IE South division, like straight out the mob. Like, so like I wanted to be IE South, and everyone.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, Godfather.
Yeah, like I just want our division to be like, dang, like, have you heard of those guys? Like they're right there in Menifee, but they cover Temecula, North San Diego, up to Riverside, up to like everywhere. But
I can see that.
Growing my team, I really want to hire on my first employee come next year. So hopefully by March of next year, I could hire somebody on and really just continue to scale the company.
Yeah, I mean, so what I love what you said, Jesse, and I love what I attribute to your success is you got out of the mindset, the day-to-day mindset of being a real estate agent, and you started looking at the bigger perspective, that 30,000-foot view of being a business owner. Business owners are constantly screwing up. Business owners are losing sleep because they're always looking for efficiencies or ways to better serve their client or personal development things within themselves. Like, you never blame your problems on somebody else. It's what did I do wrong? How do I fix it? How do I make it better? And being solution oriented. Sure. That is who you are from top to bottom. So in my opinion, if you were to ask me, what do I think the next couple of years look like? So I think you're on an upward trajectory. Yeah, there's, it's always a step. Success is always you flatten out to get better and then you climb again. But you've got everything that what it takes to be successful is in you, and you're just going after it. Yep. There's not to say there's not going to be bad days and good days and bad days and good days. I mean, we're in real estate, it's highs and lows. It's Correct. The worst on that front. But because you're constantly striving to be better and constantly innovating, I think that you're going to kill it. I think that, you're already at, 11 million in closed volume from January. So from January to August, you're already killing it in a down market, and you're already pushing it, going from, hey, come 2023, just a little bit of time ago, I'm down and out, to, you know what, screw this. If I want it, I have to go after it.
Correct.
So I think you're the pinnacle, and for anybody listening to this, if you want to, what's your Instagram?
_ Jesse Galvan, JESSEGALVAN.
Got it. I think they should follow you. I think you do a lot on social media. I think you're very intentional about that. You've got a great story, from military to your personal things that you've gone through to being with your wife as long as she's had to put up with you, and then now your why between the two of you, your baby girls. So for me, it's an honor to be able to be a business partner, not just a lender realtor, but a business partner. I think that's a particular distinction, And I'm so glad that you were my first interviewee. How did it go?
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate you just being my friend, business partner, allowing me to come on your podcast.
Yep. All right. High
Thank
five.
I appreciate you.
Yep. All right. So I've got some kind of fun questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So you've heard me talk a lot about a morning routine, like my morning routine. And some people have morning routines and some people have unwinding routines, but my morning routine kind of sets me up for the day. So which do you prefer? Do you have a morning routine, or do you have, after a tough day, an unwinding routine?
I have both.
You have both?
I have both.
Tell me about your morning routine.
So morning routine, I feel like I'm trying to lose weight right now. So it's wake up, workout, and because of you, I have my 20-minute meeting with my wife.
Oh, hey, do you really do that?
Yeah.
High five. Okay. Oh, actually, high five. Here, wait,
I was trying to play it off. But and then my evening one is like, if it's a long day, normally I would sometimes I help shower the girls, and then
isn't there so much joy in the giggles of that?
Yeah.
If they're in a good mood, that is.
Yeah, my firstborn, like she's crazy, so she's awesome. But then after we do that, when everyone's sleeping, normally around like 9:30, 10, then I would just watch YouTube, TikTok, or watch something on the TV. Like that's like the normal, like
the unwind.
Once everyone's like, yeah.
Now, with the morning routine, with you doing your morning routine, the workout, okay, he forgot something. I know for a fact he forgot something. He goes to Starbucks every single day.
I do.
So with your morning routine, with meeting with your wife about the day, how does that set you up? What does that do for you?
It sets the tone, because the days that I don't work out, the days that I don't get my Starbucks, the days that I don't have my meeting with my wife in the morning, I feel like my day is like just in a blur. Like it's like, or at least like the first half.
Now, if you weren't meeting with your wife, would you suggest someone to meet with themselves? And what does that meeting look like?
Yeah, I think it could benefit meeting with themselves. I think just if you're meeting with yourself, I feel like you should just like really hone in on like maybe learning something new regarding your business, or listening to like a investment podcast, or even there's a new thing that a lot of people are doing right now. It's called a grounding. So like you'll just go sit in the grass. I haven't tried it yet. Is that
where you put your feet in the grass?
Yeah,
no.
So I haven't tried that yet, but
that's not for me.
I could see the benefit of it, of stepping on the grass, doing your breathing, and feeling like maybe relaxed.
I feel like I'd be stepping in dog shit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't. Okay. Anyways, yes, whatever works for you, works for you. Now, what about the unwinding? Does that help you sleep better at night? How do you differentiate? It's a low day at work. You're getting kicked around. You got pissed off agents. You got pissed off clients. Escrows yelling at you. Like you're losing business. Now you pull it up to your house. You park the car, and then you have to go.
You're just like,
turn that switch off.
It's hard. It's hard not to. It's right now where I'm at in the business. It's hard not to. It's hard to turn the switch off. It's like I could almost like. I got my wife ready for like, hey babe, it's gonna be a tough next couple of years, just because I'm gonna be so in. So yeah, there are days that I'm not the best dad, husband. Like I don't turn it off. I go in, say hi. I might eat some dinner, then I get back to work, or I'm just like my mind's going. Like I don't even like she's talking to me, or I'm looking at my child, and I don't have any. Like my brain is so fried some days.
So I've been working with this for a couple of years I call it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because there's two parts of you. There's the business side of you that has to be always on, and then the personal side of you has to be on and in a different way. So the way that I've been able to work this out, and believe me, I'm still not perfect at it. One, I set the expectation with my husband. So I always tell my husband on the way home, like, I've got a lot on my plate. I'm having trouble turning it off. I'm going to have to work later tonight. But I don't let my kids see that. So when I walk in the door, my phone is flipping over for about an hour, where I get so tired sometimes, and as much as I don't want to, and they'll tell me about their day or the video games that they're playing, or, my daughter is in that tween phase, so we're watching Vampire Diaries together, and we're having these not vapid conversations, but conversations that in the scheme of all the things that I went through that day is so on the surface it's not even funny. And so it's hard for me to pay attention, but that's when I really am like, okay, this is where it's at. These are the golden moments right here. And so it's once, and I, when you're like, okay, I just got to get this done. I turn that part of my brain. I literally tell myself no when I feel it creeping up because I'm going to get to it later on that evening.
No, for sure. I just feel like, and you could agree or disagree with this, but I think in business, or especially maybe trying to grow your business, it's hard for that balance. And,
my God.
And the people that you see that have that balance or that's making those memories probably aren't putting, and it's one of those things where it's like it hurts even thinking or saying it. It hurts knowing that there are some golden moments that I'm missing right now. My child's 2, and there's moments that I'm missing, and it sucks, but I know the sacrifice is going to be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cost versus the reward. The cost of it is you will miss some moments. The reward of it is that you're giving her a different life. Everything that you're doing is for her. And as long as you can balance it, as long as that you can see, yes, I'm flopping, and this is a hard transition, but when it's on her, I'm giving her everything, then that's okay.
For sure.
Because the reality is there is one agent who I think has mastered it, but his wife is really involved with it as well, and the kids are a little bit older. You've got young babies. It's harder when you have young babies. But he takes some time off, and he goes specifically on vacations. And he'll, work for maybe 3-4 hours on those vacations. And I'm talking like at least 1 weekend a month. Or sometimes he'll leave for 2 weeks at a time and just go off with the family. Wow. And so he does turn it off, but he's managed to be such a connector on so many different areas that he can do that balance now. So he's the one I model after a little bit, where I'm like, I don't know how you do this. You're magic.
Hats off to him.
Yes.
No.
Now, I got another question. What is your biggest pet peeve in this industry? Or top 3 if you can't narrow it to one.
I don't know. I think that's a tough question. Especially that's a tough question for video. But the biggest, I guess the pet peeve is dealing with the realtors in the industry, the realtors and lenders in the industry. I feel like it could be so like a lot of people really aren't genuine. So I think I could sense when someone's genuine or someone's just bullshitting me.
Yeah.
So I think I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves is if I know you're fake or like you have ill like intentions, then it's hard for me to like want to be around you.
For sure. For sure, because you really are at your core, you're so genuine. That's why people gravitate towards you. You are extraordinarily loyal. That's why people are so loyal to you. It's because always what you're giving out as a person. So I can see that actually being your biggest pet peeve. I mean, I was thinking more surface level. My biggest pet peeve is when I call you and your voicemail's full. Oh. Not you in particular, but just agents. For sure. There's my surface level pet peeve.
If we're going surface level.
I'm like, wow, that's deep.
Yeah. No, like, if we're going service level, like I'd say like agents, okay, this is a debatable question.
Right.
This is, what is a fiduciary duty, right? Because I think when I list properties, if a buyer's agent calls me and says, hey, what's the highest offer on this property? My fiduciary duty is to try and get my seller as much money as possible. So I'm going to say we have 5 offers, the highest being at $650 cash, 20% down. Can you beat that? And if they could beat it, I'm helping my seller get the best offer. If they can't beat it, I'm saving that agent time. I'm saving those buyers heartache.
Yep.
And that's where I align with it. But there's agents that just like cut the conversation and only text or only email and say submit your highest and best and don't disclose. So like that's the big, I think many realtors might even agree with me, but what is a fiduciary duty?
Yeah, and there's more to that. Like, that's peeling an onion. That's communication styles. Like, you are high-touch communication. You like to be on the phone. You like to be belly to belly, where some people just don't. You're a very open and honest person, so that shines through in everything that you do business-wise. Not to say that those people that are doing it differently aren't honest. They're just holding it closer to the chest, thinking that might be the better option for them. So I 100%, if I were an agent today, I'd be exactly like you.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I'd love to peel back the onion, dive into the other person's business or agents' business that do business that way to figure out the why behind it.
I'm sure you might get an agent like that on the show one day.
I'm going to dive in. Don't you worry.
For sure.
All right. So if you could do it all over again, if today was day one of real estate, what would you do differently?
I would get into coaching faster. It sounds so cheesy. Because, like, it sounds cheesy and corny, right? And
well, it doesn't, because I love coaching.
Not to you, but even when I'm talking to my friends that, like, aren't in real estate and I tell them about it, they're like, you're dumb. so how I think of it, if I were to start over day one again, I would go as far as take out a loan and just pay for coaching or education, because it's like, I heard a saying recently, and it's so true, but like a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, a smart man learns from his mistakes, you know? So it's like, if you could just pay to get the blueprint and be around people that are better than you, you're obviously going to grow faster.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And they have the perspective that you don't have yet.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So look, here's my 2 cents. I'm going to actually pitch coaching. I did not believe in coaching. I 1,000% didn't believe it. Did I tell you this story? Have I told you this story before?
I don't think so.
I didn't believe in coaching. I had this real estate agent friend of mine that did a lot of coaching. He's always about personal development, and I love him for that. And this particular coaching program was the core. This was 6-7 years ago now. He's like, Laura, you should do this with me. It's realtor and lender. You should do this with me. I'm like, no, I don't want to. This particular agent is extraordinarily persistent. Probably one of the most aggressively helpful, persistent person I've ever met in my entire doggone existence.
Okay.
After 2 weeks of him badgering me, I said, fine, I will do it with you. At that time, it was a CD program where I shit you not, I gotta stop swearing. Oh my God. But they mail you a CD. And I remember opening my first CD, and this is with the core, and I'm like, hun, how do I play this? Like,
in the car.
What is this? Granted, of course I had CDs. I put it on and I was listening to it. And the first thing that I listened to is how to correctly prospect.
Okay.
So now you're going to see where the origin story of how important prospecting came from me.
Yep.
Is because I listened to the CD and it was, most people are prospecting busy work. Most people don't know how to prospect.
Correct.
Like, it's about relationships. And so the first time I listened to it, I'm doing the dishes. I'm like rolling my eyes at it. And I'm like, oh, no, they're probably right. I listened to it again. I wrote my like little notes. I listened to it again and I started implementing right there. He quit after 2 weeks and I stayed in coaching. And here is what I can tell you. I can tell you that when you look at an elite person in their class, I don't care if it's ballerina, because that was my background. I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball. You have to have a coach. You have to have a trainer. You have to have someone always looking at that 30,000-foot view, because perspective is everything.
Sure.
And when you get to a certain level, it's like these tiny little tweaks make you spin out and become 10% better overnight. Right. So yes, I know a lot of people are like, coaching. Why would you spend money on that? Because it works.
For sure. Especially in our industry.
Oh, for sure. You don't know what you don't know. And strangely, I've been in coaching, like I said, 6-7 years now. And still to this day, I'll be on a coaching call and I'm a coach now. And I'll be like, well, crap, I didn't know that. And then it changes how you do business. So yeah, you struck a nerve.
Yeah, no, it can help a lot.
So what do you think is more important in your business? Do you think your origin story was those cold calls, and you've transitioned more towards relationship building? Tell me, do they both still have a place? What do you put more emphasis on? Will you give up cold calling, or is that should be a staple no matter what?
So I could truthfully say I think in the last 3 months, I've stopped cold calling. And that's just with having that structure with the coaching, with you, and it's just doing business differently. I think there's probably always going to be a place for cold calls, and there's always going to be a place with relationship, but you could just see, I think business is done, like, it's easier or harder, but it's, how do I say it? It's like, you like it more doing business relationship-wise versus doing a different type of grind. Because I've noticed recently I'm getting a lot of leads, buyer sellers, from just my friends, family, my past clients, my business partners, who I just have continuously are building relationships with each week.
I know, isn't building relationships so much fun? Who knew?
Yeah. Like it gets addicting. It gets addicting because it's like, who could I connect with who?
Yep.
And then
you really are the godfather these days.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Not yet. I'm just a little.
You're an officer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Not yet, but one day.
So how do you keep your mindset up day in and day out? I mean, I'm sorry, but being in relationships all the time, it can be, and sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes you don't want to pick up the phone and say hello. How do you make sure that your mindset is on? For me personally, he says Starbucks. He's gonna say
Starbucks for sure. But it's more like if any of you, if you have, or if the viewers have watched, there's a TikTok with Conor McGregor, and it shows him like 8 years ago, but it shows him saying a saying where it's like, I want to work so hard I lose myself in the process. Meaning, like, it sounds weird because I know I don't want it to be interpreted a bad way, but it's like you lose yourself in the process because you're working so hard because you want something so big, but the rewards are going to be worth it. You know, going back to what we've been talking about this whole time. But it's like there's days that I don't feel like talking to people. There's days that I do. But it's like you just nonstop. Like
you either want it or you don't. You're either losing yourself or you're not.
Correct. And losing yourself in a good way, where it's like, I have to do this. There's no, like, you almost feel like you're just a sicko. Because, like, you're like, I'm going to do it. And I don't care. So it's just, inside a good way. And I know for maybe a potential client, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean, for someone that is debating to use me, I don't mean it that way, but it's like, and just know I'm always on. So it's like, not turn it off.
You're driven. I mean, it doesn't, you're saying it the right way. It's coming across the right way. I'm driven for excellence. Like, all I want is excellence. I will not stop until I achieve mastery, until I achieve excellence. Like, or you die. No. It's one or the other. No, I understand that. So if someone listening to this is like, okay, I can relate to Jesse, is there any one tool, not necessarily for mindset, but that continues to help you day in and day out, make sure you're staying in the excellent vein?
Yeah, I think surrounding yourself with better people in business is always great, but also finding your safe space is important. Like I say, my siblings and my close friends, where you could just kind of let loose and be yourself, and they could give you a different perspective. Like my little brother he's helped me more than he will ever know in his life, and it's like I could cry, but it's like I'm grinding so his son will be okay one day, and I could change the dynamic for not just my little family but his family. And like, if it wasn't for him, like, I just wouldn't be in a good space if it wasn't for him.
How many siblings do you have?
3.
3? Are you the oldest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shines through. Yeah. And is this your youngest brother?
Yeah.
Yep. See, you have a lot more whys. Let me get to the ooey gooey heart of it. What you can't see is he's tearing up over here. So apparently I'm going to send your brother to Starbucks cart.
I got some of my contacts. What are you talking about?
I think that personal life bleeds into business and business bleeds into personal life. You can't have, obviously, you can't have one without the other, and it's a constant balance of it. It's a fire in the belly that will make or break what you're going to do with your business. You're striving for excellence. You're gunning for that top seat. What was it with the IE South?
IE South.
You're going to brand it. I already see it coming.
Oh, for sure. It's coming already, and I'm not even. This is like Godfather excellence top, and I'm still here. Like, there's not even like, I hate the praise I get at like in office meetings or in front of people, because I don't feel like I'm even where I'm going to be. Like, it's not even.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Well, I have absolutely enjoyed having you on. You got some hot seat questions. Apparently, I had to learn how to do hot seat questions, so that was fun.
I love it.
And so I'll definitely have you come on again, probably within the next 6 months, and we'll see how much the flow, the iteration, your evolution won, my friend.
Okay.
Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.